Regularly scheduled programs will not be seen tonight so that we may bring you the NFL football game live and in color.
Draw to Biner. Ernest Biner.
Fumble
the ball, and Denver has recovered. Oh, my.
Kicked by Hartley. And it's good! It's good! Hell is frozen over. The Saints are on their way to the Super Bowl.
Welcome to Basically a Football Show.
Basically a Football Show. We've gone through 10 playoff games. We've maybe had 1.5.
I'm going to say 1.5 good games. The Packers-Cowboys game was good, and you could make an argument that Chiefs-Steelers was good, although I'd argue that it wasn't.
The first half of Giants-Packers was pretty good. But besides that, it's been pretty weak, kind of a subpar postseason. But I think through all that, I think we've set up for what should be a very exciting Super Bowl. NFC Championship game, that's where we'll start. The Falcons go out to a 24-0 lead at halftime. They end up winning 44-21. But I think there's three places where this game really swung. So the Falcons score on the first drive, and then the Packers come right back down, get to the red zone. Mason Crosby comes out. He's money in the playoffs, 23 straight field goals, misses. So instead of being 7-3 and points on the board, 7-0. Packers are driving, the opportunity to get a touchdown, get back into this game, and what's his name? Rakowski fumbles. Falcons recover. If Green Bay scores there, I think the game goes a little bit differently. There's more confidence, and they're kind of hanging with the Falcons at that point. But I think that fumble and then the ensuing touchdown run, that's a big swing, and I think that really put the Packers down.
I agree with you. Those were two huge turning points, the missed field goal, and then I thought the backbreaker was the fumble. They were going in for a touchdown that would have cut it to a 3-point lead. It's a 10-7 game at that point, and everything's different. I don't know that it would have made a difference in the end, because what I saw here was a Falcons team that's just better than the Green Bay Packers. This Falcons team, yeah, the Packers fumbled, cost them a chance to get back in the game, but you got to give the Falcons credit for taking advantage of that, going 80 yards and scoring again.
The other thing that impressed me about the Falcons, and another thing that really good teams do, they got the ball right before halftime. They had a little over a minute 47, and they marched down the field 68 yards and scored a touchdown to go up 24-0 going into halftime. If it's just 17-0, then the Packers still have some life. 24-0, it's big, but I think if you're Green Bay, maybe you think that we can still get in this game. We have Aaron Rodgers. We can do some crazy things. And then Julio Jones, 73 yards, takes a crossing route, stiff arms a guy, jumps over another dude, and just bursts down the sideline for the 73-yard touchdown to make it 31-0, and that ended the game.
Absolutely. It was just a matter of that point, trying not to be too embarrassed by it all. But I'm with you. I think the Packers, they went, there's a theory out there. I think it was Simmons and Cousin Sal, when I was listening to them, they said that the Packers were spent from the Cowboys game, which might have been true. I don't know. But I'm not going to do a thing to take any credit away from these Atlanta Falcons. They were just a better team on the field. We talked about the fumble. We talked about the missed field goal. Do you really think, had the Packers capitalized in both those places, that they still would have won this game? I just don't think so. I think Atlanta was just better.
The game would have been closer, and I think the Packers would have had more of a legitimate shot. I think it kind of goes back to what we thought going into the game, that if the Packers had still played okay, capitalized on their chances, and not fumbled the ball away, it had to have been a shootout. And the Falcons were very much up to the task. The Packers defense, their pass defense has been suspect over the last few years. And you look at the second half of that Cowboys game, and I'm sure the Falcons found some things there. Yep. And just the talent of the Falcons have a receiving core, because yes, Julio Jones had an amazing game, 9 receptions, 180 yards. But the ability to spread the ball around to multiple people in that receiving core, just let the Falcons kind of shred things up, do whatever they want to do. The other thing that, and we talked about this during the game, was the Falcons' ability to convert on these long third down, 3rd and 6, 3rd and 7, 3rd and 10, and the Falcons would find their way to convert. If you can't get an offense like that off the field early, and you can't get any pressure on Matt Ryan, you're going to be in for a long day. And the Falcons shredded up the Packers, as they should have, based on what was given to them.
Well, they were talking about it. Joe Buck and Troy Aikman before the game. Aikman said that in a game like this, the defenses, well, if you're going to get in a shootout, you're looking at probably 4 possessions. They're going to make the difference in a game where you need to stop them 4 times. And the Packers were unable to do that. On the first Falcons drive, the Packers had them 3rd and 8. Matt Ryan converts. 3rd and 7, I think he converts again. Then they get him 3rd and 12, and he converts again. They could not get off the field. And the Falcons are too good to sit out there and give them 3rd and 12s. You do that, they're going to eat you alive. And that's exactly what happened. The Packers defense wasn't up to the task. And something else I heard, I don't remember again where, so I apologize for not being able to give this the proper attribution, but someone said it's time for this team and Mike McCarthy to quit relying so much on Aaron Rodgers. And I thought, that is so true. What else do they have besides Aaron Rodgers? That you would consider, of course, they got some decent receivers, but
yeah, a couple good receivers. Running backs aren't great. You got Clay Matthews on defense, but that's about it.
Yeah, and you've got to have more than that. And another thing about the Falcons too that's kind of getting lost in all this, their defense played pretty good in this game, and that was their big question mark. Could they stop anybody? And they showed against Seattle, and then again against the Packers, that their defense is up to the task. Is it a 85 Bears style defense? Absolutely not, but in a game like this, when they're playing the Packers or even a Seahawks team and now the Patriots, they've got just enough defense to make that offense really work, and that's what makes them so dangerous.
20 first downs by the Falcons in the first half. And consider that Green Bay had 24 in the entire game.
Well, and think about this, too. That Falcons running game with Coleman and Devontae Freeman wasn't really even that great in this game. And they still did this. Effective. It was effective enough, yeah, but they're better than that normally. The better team of the two won. It would have been great to see the Packers go to the Super Bowl, but I've been riding these Falcons all year, and it was tough to watch my own team go down to defeat like that, but I was pretty happy with the Falcons because I have thought they've been good all along.
As a team that I admittedly hadn't seen a lot of all season, they've impressed me and a lot of people so much in these last 2 games. And on the other side, the Packers, just the magic ran out. Halfway through the first quarter or even the first half, Rodgers looked a little defeated. Like, you could see it on his face that, like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this again.
Well, you got to think about it. If you're on that team and you're on the offense and you're seeing that defense give up 3rd and 8, 3rd and 12, and Atlanta just march down the field, you know what you're up against. Yeah. Just like a fan knows. I mean, I knew 10, 12 minutes into the game, I thought they're not winning this.
The Falcons did exactly what they wanted to do. And the other thing is, not only the best thing that defense did is they got to Aaron Rodgers consistently. Credit that Falcons defensive line front 7. They were one of the big units against the Packers.
That's how this Falcon team operates. Your offense is going to put points on the board. You tell the defense, you get us a couple of stops, we're going to put this thing away early, and then you guys can go out and just pin your ears back and go. And that's exactly what happened in this game. But I wanted to go back to Dan Quinn for a second. We talked about it a couple weeks ago with this Falcons group. They were pretty good a couple years ago under
Mike Smith.
I always want to call him Mike White for some reason. I don't know why. I think it's the hair. But they were pretty good, and they had talent, but they had a lot of issues. Dan Quinn has come in, and the difference, you can see it. It's just there's a different attitude with this team. He's put together a solid defense because really look at the offense. It's not a lot different from what they had a couple years ago under Mike Smith. You still had Julio Jones. You still had Matt Ryan. Devontae Freeman was there. Okay, Sanu's new. Gabriel is a new player. But for the most part, that's basically the same cast of characters they had 2 years ago when they got off to a good start and fell apart. So I got to give Dan Quinn credit. He put together a good defense in a very short amount of time, and he took a team that was known for getting off to quick starts and falling to pieces, and he kept them together, and now they're in the Super Bowl. It's just been a really a fun thing to watch with these guys.
If you like offensive football, you're going to like this Falcons team, and I think you're going to like the Super Bowl a lot.
I agree. It was just, congratulations to the Atlanta Falcons. The only problem I have with you guys is your uniforms. Other than that, you're a fun bunch to watch.
So the AFC Championship game, the Patriots they do what they do. They marched around. Tom Brady did his thing. He made a legend receiver out of an absolute nobody in Chris Hogan. Here's the thing. NFC game. Julio Jones, 9 receptions, 180 yards, and 2 touchdowns. That's Julio Jones. You know who else had 9 receptions, 180 yards, and 2 touchdowns? Chris Hogan, a guy that was a college lacrosse player, played 1 year of football at Monmouth, bounced around in a bunch of practice squads, found himself on the Bills 2 years ago, got cut. The Patriots pick him up, and of course, make him into a 180-yard receiver in the AFC Championship game. No big deal.
The most amazing thing about this Patriots run, and believe me, there's just a laundry list of amazing things about this team, is Belichick and that coaching staff's ability to do stuff like they did with Chris Hogan. Where do they find these guys, and how do they make them good when they weren't before? It blows my mind. They find these guys. I mean, look, Garrett Blunt, scrap heap, right? And look at him now.
The other thing is their best receivers over the last few years will probably be their tight ends. And Gronk is injured.
Yeah.
And they still are playing like this. They still make the Super Bowl in a year where Brady started the first 4 games. Gronk's been out most of the year. And it just kind of seemed like maybe they would stumble at some point, but they keep the train on the tracks and they keep rolling. And they're 9th Super Bowl overall for the Patriots, most of all time.
Well, think about this for a second. Since 2001, they've been to the Super Bowl 7 times. This is 2016. That's practically every other year. The thing about it, too, was that the Patriots team I watched on Sunday, yeah, they were playing pretty good, but they weren't peak Patriots or anything. They were just methodical, get the job done, and win the game.
Yep. There wasn't really a set of key plays, I don't think, in this game. It was just the Patriots doing their job on defense, doing their job on offense, and slowly but surely, you pull away from the other team.
Early on, you thought, okay, maybe the Steelers can stay with these guys, but it was kind of the same thing with the Packers. They had early opportunities, couldn't capitalize, and the next thing you know, you're looking at the taillights of the New England Patriots down the field 30 yards in front of you going, oh, we're never going to catch these guys.
And the Steelers' defense, we talked about it going into all these games. There was no true shutdown defense or game-changing defense, and they just couldn't make plays. They couldn't get to Tom Brady, and the Patriots do what they do, as we've said.
I think at the end of the day, going back through all the stuff, all the way back to our preview show, at the end of it all, I think the 2 best teams made the Super Bowl this year.
Yeah, probably.
I mean, you could make an argument for the Cowboys, but everybody's like, that's another thing too with the Falcons game, going back to that for a second. Well, the Cowboys would have played them differently. They probably would have, but I still don't think they would have won. That Falcons team peaked at the right time. Everybody was talking about, the Packers are peaking at the right time. I think the team that peaked at the right time were the Atlanta Falcons. But back to the Patriots, I don't even know what you do at this point. I don't know that anybody's terribly excited outside of the New England area that they're back in the Super Bowl again.
There's 2 storylines. The Falcons trying to win their first. And then on the other side of things, it's, does Tom Brady win his 5th and become the unquestionable best quarterback of all time?
Well, I'm a big Joe Montana fan.
I know, but if Brady wins 5 and he's been to 7 and just this run of success, even I have a hard time arguing against the guy. It's just, it is what it is.
That's what I was going to say. If you look at it realistically, now granted, Montana played in an era where the defenses were allowed to do more and all that. Okay. But if you're going to throw that in, you got to throw this qualifier in too. Montana also had the greatest wide receiver of all time to throw to. Yeah. Jerry Rice. He was basically the Tom Brady of wide receivers. So you look at what Brady's done, and Montana, not exactly the same cast of characters for those 4 Super Bowl runs, but pretty much the same nucleus of that team. What Brady and Belichick have done, I don't know that there's a single guy left from even, when they played the Giants the second time, whenever that was, whatever year that was. I mean, the turnovers there, he's never really had a superstar wide receiver to go to. Randy Moss for 1 season, a guy here and there, but not like Montana had Rice. At some point, even a guy like me, a staunch Joe Montana supporter, has to look back and go, you know what? It might be time to set Joe aside and go, yeah, this Brady kid, he might be it. Because I think what they said was his 11th conference championship game.
11th conference championship, 6th in a row.
Been there 7 times.
The Falcons, by the way, going to the Super Bowl now, means that since the divisions realigned in 2001 or 2002, whenever it was, the NFC South is the first division to get all 4 of its teams to the Super Bowl since realignment.
No kidding. To think of how much fun we make of that division every year, too. And they're the ones that have all 4 teams that have made the Super Bowl since the realignment. Yeah.
Pretty funny.
But yeah, I think it'll be a good Super Bowl. I do think we've got the 2 best teams. You may not think so when you think of the Falcons, but I had NFL Sunday Ticket. I was able to watch these guys all year, and I thought they were pretty good. But you never know. This kind of reminds me of college, too, where you go, you can't kind of tell, because even in the NFL, you're still not playing the exact same schedule as everybody else. So you're kind of like, are they really this good or not? And it turns out they are pretty good. And, well, the Patriots, what else do you say?
Now I don't feel so bad about the Rams losing 42-14 over the Falcons this season, right?
Right.
Not so bad. One last note on the Super Bowl, and we can move on, because we'll have plenty to talk about that. But we do know what uniform both teams will be wearing in the Super Bowl. The Falcons will be wearing their red with the black helmets and the white pants as the home team, and the Patriots will be wearing white. So as much as I want the Falcons to win, here's a fun stat for us uniform people. 11 of the last 12 Super Bowl winners have worn white jerseys.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Wow.
You know who the only one was?
Packers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go. 11 of 12 in the whites. So.
And one of those years, I think 2006, was it the year the Steelers played the Seahawks? The Steelers could have worn black and chose to wear white.
They chose to wear white because they won all their games on the road going up to that point.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Well, that's not good news for you if you're a Falcons fan, because us uniform geeks, we believe in stuff like this.
But if you're the Falcons, you have also played all your playoff games will be in a dome. I really think that this will be a fun back and forth offense, because even if the Patriots shut down Julio Jones, the Falcons have so many options to do stuff. So I don't think that there's one guy that the Patriots can focus on and that will allow the Falcons to play like they want to play still.
Yeah.
And they can put up points too. So this will be great.
Falcons have a lot of different weapons, and Matt Ryan knows how to use all of them. Exactly.
So that'll do it. Follow us on all our platforms: Stitcher, Spreaker, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook. Tune in next week. We'll have our prop bets, Super Bowl picks, all that sort of fun stuff. Any last things before we head off on the merry trail, Greg?
We'll do the go whoever I want to win next week. So we'll just say see you later for this week.
Yeah, I think I know who we're both going to root for, but who knows what we'll actually pick. For Greg, I'm Zach. It's basically a football show. Enjoy the Pro Bowl football.